Hello everybody. What's going on, guys? Hello. We are live, and joining us today on the beautiful podcast, we have our wonderful friends. We have Venge, Phil, Camilo, Mama Remy, and myself. Unfortunately, we had two had to step out because of personal reasons, which is all fine and dandy, not a big deal. How are you guys today? How's it going, guys?
I'm good.
I'm great.
Good.
Solid snake.
Feeling fresh.
Good, that's good. Yeah, you look nice and clean.
I showered.
Oh, I don't do that. Oh, Dragon, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the TacoTeam. Welcome to the family. All right, guys. Everyone knows how this works. We basically talk about game news and rumors that are happening all over the internet. And this month has been kind of crazy because there's been a lot of stuff. But before we start, I'm going to start with Phil, if you don't mind, because on my screen you're in the middle. So what's new? What's exciting? What have you been up to? There's a lot of things that you changed yourself.
Yeah. So I sort of got on the D-Live train, and I've been streaming a lot on there. I've actually been pretty busy IRL, so I actually had to pull back a little bit. So I've been streaming a lot of, games that click, like Minecraft and Fortnite. So that's been fun. I've been growing a small little community over there. We just hit 300 followers, which was really exciting. We hit that pretty fast. So that was cool. And then over here on YouTube, Camilo and I just did, I don't know where he is. He's above me, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, this way?
I'm next to you, not on the screen.
We just did.
He's above me.
We just did a shiny hunt collaboration, if you guys don't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Couldn't get shiny variants, so he just won our last shiny race, and that was really, really fun. And then I'm just editing a couple things I'm going to throw up on YouTube this week, and yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me.
No, that's awesome. Venge, what about you, my friend?
Okay, if you hear any banging in the background, I apologize for that. There's like some stuff going on upstairs.
That's all right. That's all right.
No one's getting murdered or anything.
It's just life.
I don't even know where to start. Like, it's been a lot of reconstruction all over the place when it comes to me personally. So I really didn't have a lot going on gaming wise in terms of what I've been playing recently. But it's like frustrating for me personally because I really like to visit other people's streams, and I talked to Steffi about this not too long ago, and I was so caught up with so many different things in my workout schedule, which is pretty strict, where I pick a time out of my day where I usually like to watch people stream and interact, but I wasn't able to do it as much as I wanted to because of the fact that I'm working on getting more fit. So that's been working out very well for me. I'm proud to say that I dropped down from 280 pounds to 251.
Hey, congratulations.
Nice.
GG.
Thank you so much. So I feel so much better about that, especially when randomly people was noticing, and people that I talk to, but I usually have to start the conversation first.
Yep.
And one gentleman came out of nowhere and woke me up because I was half asleep when I came to work in the morning. He was like, "Dude, that's awesome, man. Keep it up." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
That's
"Your
right.
weight, man. You look, you slimmed down." I'm like, "Oh." And then Friday I dressed up in a suit. Usually I'm not a shirt and tie kind of guy, but I'm trying
Hey,
to do
Spanish
that a bit
dude,
more than
you're a
usual,
contractor,
and,
right?
Where's these pics at, Venged?
where they at?
Where they at?
I'll DM you because I didn't do the whole before and after thing. So, I was called handsome, so I was like, I'm going to get
Whoa. Everyone, please hashtag Arcade Master, who just donated $5. Thank you very much, my friend.
Hey, nice. And so that pretty much sums up my journey for the past few weeks.
That's awesome. That's fantastic, man.
Congrats, man.
Mama Remy, what about you? What have you been up to?
Channel's been growing.
Nice.
And we actually started doing like a community thing because it came about. I had something come up, so I had to cancel a stream, and I felt really bad about it. And so I did kind of like this community night thing where we kind of hung out in the Discord. It was like all voice chat. Like we played like Splatoon, like we did like Salmon Run, and I did it again last night. And it was supposed to be 2 hours. It ended up turning into like an 8-hour event because we were all having fun.
That's good.
Yeah, but the community really seemed to like it because it got away from everybody that was new, all the trolls from the games that we were having problems with, and it was just me and them, and it was like one-on-one, and I really enjoyed it because it got me a little closer to my community. And then I recently had a very nice donator donate Let's Go Pikachu for me.
Oh, very nice.
And so I was able to start shiny hunting. And my first shiny hunt stream, I caught 3 shinies and then I failed 1. So I was like,
Nice.
So I've been really getting into that lately. So other than that, we just been growing, and yeah, I'm having fun.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Camilo, what about you, my friend? What have you been up to?
I've actually been, a lot of stuff's been going on. I've had a big channel update, so I've recently moved majority of my streaming to Twitch, and I've been like really enjoying it over there. And I like how my channel's going now, because I feel like now I can have time to like make original videos and upload stream highlights that doesn't feel like rehashed material. So I do a lot of shiny hunting. So whenever I do get a shiny reaction, I want to upload it as a highlight, but whenever it's just like from YouTube, I feel like I'm just like rehashing it. If it's like from a different platform and I'm moving it, I feel a lot better about it, because I feel like a lot more people will click on it and stuff, because it's just new stuff not on the platform already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. And yeah, a lot of other stuffs. With my personal life, I'm like about to start a promotion at work, so that's exciting.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic.
Hey, nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, with myself, I've been looking back at the channel, looking to see what I can change. I was doing D-Live for a little bit, but you know what? It got really hectic with doing 2 different places, and I just don't want to restream. I feel that you can't focus on one section of a platform because you have another one going, and then they feel kind of abandoned. At least that's how I always feel it. Let me just wait for the song. Thank you, Spring, for the subscription. So yeah, I turned around and I said, what can I do different now with the channel? I've been doing this for 2 years, and it's become an same routine over and over again. So I went back and I said, okay, you know, because I'm bored of Super Mario stuff. That's all we do. Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, and Legend of Zelda. Don't get me wrong, I love doing all that stuff, but sometimes I just feel that that's all we do. So I went back and I said, okay, what can I do? So we're changing from doing different types of games that I've never played ever, so like Metroid and things like that.
Fun.
And then at the same time, I've also decided to kind of, I guess you could say, rebrand what the channel was. So we used to be family friendly, and I took a vote if people don't want that anymore. And they voted that they rather go PG-13 or more adult based. So with that high majority of everyone saying that, we've gone now non-family friendly. Doesn't necessarily mean, you know, everything's gonna be non-family friendly, but just they want to change. I think I can give that change. It's time. We've been doing it for such a long time, you know.
And just to add on to what you were saying, Rigo, about Restream, that's actually a smart choice. Reason why I say that is because not that Restream is a bad thing.
No, not at all.
It's definitely good, but at the same time, depending on like how you do it, it lends itself to dividing your community up. Because like,
and that's what I wanted to avoid.
Right, because naturally, what's going to happen is there's going to be that split, especially if there's more going on over there than over there. So.
Exactly. But yep, that's what's happening. I'm glad to hear everybody's has been having a good month. Sounds like everyone's been having a good month, so that's good. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and jump into it because there's a lot to talk about. So if you guys remember, there was a lot of rumors and speculation on the PlayStation 5, and turns out that Mark came out, the developer of the PS4, who's also the lead hand to developing the PS5, and he says that the PS5 is going to be one of the strongest systems they've ever come out with, possibly the strongest system to come out, and that it can even handle 8K. Okay, now talking about 8K, realistically, I mean, our eyes can't go that type of vision, but that's what they're that's what they're going off of right now. But what does this mean? Do you think this is realistically the strongest system that's going to come out, or is this just one of those things that, you know, they want people to buy the PlayStation, so they're going to say whatever it takes? And do you think that 8K even is relevant at this point, or is it something irrelevant? So let's start with Phil, because he's ready.
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about 8K. They're trying to future-proof as far as they can with 8K, because eventually we will have 8K TVs in our homes. I've replaced all of my monitors and TVs with 4K. So like I'm already up to 4K, and now the PS5, it's not out yet. It might come out in 2020. Is that what we're thinking?
They're thinking 2020 or 2021.
Well, then we'll start to get even closer to that 8K thing, but I still know a lot of people who have not adopted 4K, so I feel like this is something that's down the road.
Yeah.
However, 8K matters when you're playing VR, because when you have a like screen that's like that close to your face, the resolution really does matter. Because, and I don't know what the resolution of the PSVR thing is.
I think it's 1080.
It's 1080?
Yeah.
Well, they said that the PS5 is going to continue to support PSVR. So I don't know if they're going to come out with a new headset for the PS5 that maybe is 4K or like 8K compliant or something like that. Because I think the HTC Vive is not 1080. It has a higher resolution. So they're going to want to compete with that. So I think that these higher resolutions may be leading us towards VR, and then trying to just way down the road future-proof when, you know, it comes to that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, as I told everyone, like I told Rico before, I'm kind of out of the loop on these, so I had to go through and take notes. But from what I was looking at, it said from the notes that I found that as it was previously mentioned, 8K graphics. It's like we barely have like enough people in the world that deal with 4K, and that's usually like your more like your high-end people, the ones that can put 4K everywhere. And I'm still using like a 42-inch LCD TV, so it's like when is 8K gonna drop? Are we like thinking this is gonna be like 3 consoles down the road, and then it's gonna happen like when it's gonna become the standard? And then the thing that really interested me is it's got 3D audio and it's coming with an SSD storage. And then on top of it, the one thing that really interested me and the one thing that I hope actually happens, because there's been so many other things come out with it, is the backwards compatibility to the existing PlayStation 4 titles with the possibility of being all PlayStation titles. So if you've got a PlayStation 1 or 2 or 3, up in the cabinet somewhere, and you're like, oh man, I want to play this game so bad, you no longer have to drag out all these other consoles. You can get rid of them and just have the PlayStation 5. So it's like, was the PlayStation Classic like a test run to see how people would react to older,
whatever it was, it was a disaster.
Don't get me started on that. But it's like, was this like a test run to see how we would react to all these older games coming out? Are they going to put these older titles on what's it called, the PlayStation Plus, like the online stuff? Are they gonna take like a leaf out of Nintendo's book and do stuff like that, where all these games are ran in emulators and you can just download it and play it from online? Or so that's really what I'm interested in, is what's going to happen with all this backwards compatibility.
For sure. Speaking of 3D sound, so for a lot of you who don't understand that, so basically let's dumb it down a little bit. When you go to the theater and now they have like atmosphere surround sound, that's basically what they're saying is anyone who has that type of sound system in their living room will now be able to actually take full advantage of that and have that full surround from the top, bottom, left, right corners and everything, instead of them pretending to have it. So PS4 doesn't have it, Xbox doesn't have it, now they're gonna have it. So that's what that 3D sound means, I guess. But yeah. Camilla, what do you think, buddy? What are your thoughts on PS5 and their 8K-ness?
When I saw this announcement, like, I felt like it really wasn't an announcement. Like, they just said, oh, yeah, it's coming. Well, we kind of thought so, and it just said it's going to be the strongest system. Well, duh, yeah, isn't it going to be stronger than what's already out? And I don't know. Like, it's just, I think it's too... They just announced it. I don't know. I think it was, like, kind of, they're just trying to hype it up. It's, like, too far away. The 8K thing, like... 4K is not even in the standard yet. Like, lots of people have 4K TVs, but it's not the standard yet. So I don't see 8K really being a thing like till maybe the next like 5 years or so.
Yeah, for sure. Venge, what are your thoughts?
I completely agree with Camilo on that one. I mean, if you really look at it, it's not the standard yet. Even 4K isn't. And a lot of people isn't necessarily as invested in it. And what Phil mentioned about needing 8K for, like the virtual gaming, they're using the gear and stuff. Like, I guess it just depends on what you want out of it. Like, and I don't know. I'm on the fence about it, but me being, big on PlayStation like I was back in the day, especially with the PlayStation 1. I mean, I would be interested in a PlayStation 5, but at the same time, it's like I look at how they're advertising it and they're already off on the wrong foot, because once again, they're talking all this good stuff right now. And then what happens if their lineup isn't solid? What if it winds up being a crappy lineup like the lineup for the PlayStation Classic? I wouldn't be too thrilled about that, because like I better see Tekken as like one of their big headliners, because when I look back at some of the back in the PlayStation 2 era, Tekken Tag Tournament was a huge success. It even looked better than the arcade, which was insane. And they made a really good decision with Tekken Tag Tournament being one of the headliners for the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3 kind of fell out when it came to their choices. They hyped up Killzone, and Killzone didn't even turn out as good as the demo that they showed was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, they really gonna have to really live up to the things that they're saying in order for that to succeed. Because to be honest, I'm with Nintendo right now because Nintendo is making all the right moves and they're doing everything perfect. I mean, I can't complain about it. So
Yeah, no, for
I'm
sure.
hyped for it, but at the same
Minus-
time, it's like expectations is way high now. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, for sure. No, and I agree with all of you guys. Like, to even talk about 8K, I think shouldn't even be relevant at this point. Because again, like everyone's saying, 4K is not even the standard. We're still looking at 1080p. People only care about running at 1080p, 60 frames a second. Name it. I see where they're going for. China just pushed that hypeness a little bit. They're gonna be future proof, you know. But if it's true that it's gonna be, you know, as good as they're saying, I mean, good for them, you know. But to push that 8K, I think it was kind of dumb to just kind of mention 8K at all. I think in the conversation. But
I mean, I think it would make more sense, like, is if they're gonna do this like half generational thing, like when they do like the pro version of whatever the next one is, like that would be a good point to add it in. But I think
Exactly.
it's just too early now.
Exactly. All right. So after they announced all that, Xbox came out saying that they had a big surprise for E3, something that was gonna revolutionize gaming as we know it. And they said that their console is gonna be stronger than anything that's out and to be coming out. So I'm assuming that's kind of a punch to Google with their thing. What are your thoughts of this? And what do you think this revolutionized product could be? So let's start with Phil, because he has a smirk that I'm enjoying.
This is my standard smoke. I don't know, man. Like, nothing is gonna be able to beat the amount of power that Google Stadia is gonna be able to bring. Like,
Yeah.
Unless you have like what are they called? It's like basically it's like a server house thing in your house. You can't beat it. You're not gonna be able to beat it unless. And then I don't know. I keep going back and forth. Maybe they're gonna have to have a system that's not streaming to beat the Stadia, because people who, like I was saying, did I say this last time? I feel like I said last time where like people who like live out in the boons like aren't gonna be able to get the like content in the high res that like people who just have the box and go to the store and buy the disc. So maybe Xbox is like, yeah, that's great, Google, that you're doing that, but like that's not for the everyman. Here's something for the everyman. So I don't know.
No, for sure. What about you, Mo Remy? What are your thoughts?
Well, there's speculation that there's two projects. There's Anaconda, which is supposed to be, you know, the PlayStation 5, you know, rival, and it's supposed to be better than the PlayStation 5 supposedly, but we don't know anything. And then they're coming out with Lockhart, which is supposed to, you know, compete with, you know, Google with their cloud-based streaming, whatever that's going to be. And I say whatever it's going to be because, as a lot of people in chat have said, that they like their physical copies and they don't like the digital, but because, as it was previously said, there's people that live out in the boonies. Like, I used to live out in the boonies. We didn't have very good internet. The only thing that we had was like satellite internet, and that's slow as crap. And that's sometimes it's all there is, or the only internet that's available is the ones that's on people's phones. So unless, you know, you can stream, you know, games from your phone, use your phone's Wi-Fi to download, that it's like, what's Lockhart going to do for everybody out, you know, like in the Midwest when they're, you know, not around a strong Wi-Fi connection or a strong internet connection, or they're too far out of reach to get this, you know, the fast internet. But I'm actually kind of curious about Anaconda, because we already know know the specs of the PlayStation 5 coming out. So what is Microsoft doing with the Xbox that's going to be so much better than what the PlayStation 5 is going to do? Besides the fact that I know that there's in playworks of Xbox the Game Pass that will go to the Switch, and you can if you get games from Xbox, you can play them on your Switch because like they're partnering up for something along those lines. That I'm actually kind of excited for. So if that's actually part of Lockhart, that would make Lockhart, actually worth it for me. But otherwise, what's Anaconda going to turn into? The Xbox 10,000, and then the next one's going to be the 15,000, and then it's just, as said before, it's just going to be every gen that comes out, it's the same console, just upgraded. Why not give us that upgrade at the beginning and give us really good games and give us a great big huge collection of games that we can actually play instead of dropping $600 on a console that we're going to replace in 2 years.
Yeah, no, for sure. Camilla, what are your thoughts?
Not sure. I'm not really an Xbox guy. I've never owned an Xbox, but yeah, I agree with what Phil said about like they can't compete with like Stadia. If it's gonna be anything, it has to be like an actual console.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very much like I like my physical games and I like playing on an actual console. I don't really play I don't even have like the PlayStation Now service or anything like that. I don't like to stream games like that. But yeah. Also, I don't know how much powerful it's gonna be because I feel like isn't like the Xbox One X like incredibly powerful already? So I don't know. Every generation, it's just like going forward now. It's not gonna be like as much of a jump as like the previous generations were.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Benj, what are your thoughts, buddy?
All I'm gonna say is my stream is gonna be more powerful than the Xbox. So I mean, like, come on, bro. I mean, everyone wants to throw out that tired line. I'm sick of that. Power this, power that.
Oh, I know.
But the reason why I was laughing is I didn't know the name of this project that Xbox is doing, and Remy mentioned it was the Anaconda. I couldn't help but die laughing at that. What kind of name is that? I don't understand. But you know what? There could be many ways to. Honestly, I just don't understand the Anaconda. It couldn't come up with something better, but. I don't know. I've been around Xbox quite a bit at one point in time, and it seems like that's one of the things that Microsoft always prides themselves in is power. But I mean, too much power can be a bad thing because you wind up focusing solely on power instead of what really matters, which is the game. So, I mean, if you're just going to keep playing that tired card of, oh, this system's going to be the most powerful, and then that falls on deaf ears when it comes out. That's just gonna make you look like an idiot.
Yeah, no, for sure. Everyone, hashtag MT Gamer for the donation of $1. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that.
So that's all I got to say about that.
So speaking of all this, of next generation consoles, Mark Cerning said something interesting. He said that this would be the last generation for PlayStation to bring out a console. So, in saying that, do you think that this is the end for consoles? And are we seeing the end of physical copies of games? And are we going to the digital world now? Because, I mean, we have Xbox that already showed their digital-only Xbox, right? And now Mark is saying that this is the end of their generation. So, what are we preparing for? So, let's start with Phil. What are your thoughts on this, my friend?
I think, could you guys help me out with how long has this console generation been going on for? Do you guys have any idea how many years it's been?
6 years.
6 years or so?
6 years.
Five years?
The PS4 and Xbox came out in 2013.
So say we do another 6, and that's even without the refresh, because we got 6 plus the refresh. So we're starting in 2021 with the PS5, and we'll go 6 years until 2027. That's pretty far out into the future. Like,
Yeah.
The advances in technology with like internet speeds and what the console is capable of. I mean, think about the jump from like Super Nintendo to like PS2. Like, is that? I think that's like 7 years or something like that. And like that's like fundamentally insane to think about.
Yep.
So like, if you try to think about like where are we going to be in 7 years with technology, like they're probably right. Like, we'll probably get to a point where we do finally have like like a working infrastructure where like this is possible, so that this will be the last one where we actually need to have the thing. But until like afterwards, where you'll just go to, you know, Amazon.com and you'll buy new PlayStation. You just buy a PlayStation controller. That's all you do. And then you can like turn on your TV and like you press the PS button in the middle and it like turns on the PlayStation app, and then you're playing PlayStation games. Like, that is probably the future of video games.
Yeah.
But that's hurts my heart a little bit coming from somebody who just like has a shelf full of boxes dating back to like the Atari and Amiibos and all that stuff. Like, it's gonna be the end of an era for collectors. So
Yeah.
we'll have to find a new thing to buy and put on our shelves, because like that's over now. But I think it's sort of as much as like, because I'm a diehard physical guy. Like, it's so inconvenient to buy Switch games physical, but I still do it anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I will have to find something new to buy, and I'm sad about it. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. What about you, Camilla? What are your thoughts? Sorry, scratching.
No, it's okay. Yeah, similar thing. So like, that does, like, we're not even at this new generation yet, so that's a few years. And then let's say, I could even assume that like this next generation is going to be even longer, because like this generation was the first generation they did those like mid like jumps, like PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. So I don't know if they could extend that even more with like more revisions. But saying it's like the end of like physical media and like all we're doing is streaming, that works for like console stuff, but not really like the handheld stuff. So if like the Switch is like still like, there's like a successor to the Switch, like it's still gonna be portable. You can't really do like a streaming thing with the portable. Like, that still has to be like a cartridge or some sort of download. So I'm not entirely sure. It could be that Nintendo is like still going physical and the other ones kind of move off of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, for sure. Benj, what are your thoughts?
That's kind of, you know what, man? I just hope this doesn't become like a Skynet Part 2 with video games. That's all I have to say. I know I'm beating a dead horse with Skynet, but it just seemed like stuff is just, they're just going crazy with this stuff. I love my physical copies. And another thing, if they do that, and you know they go in the direction of digital, I just hope like heck with these consoles that they come out with, when it comes to storage space, is actually reasonable. Because every console, when they do this whole, okay, digital copies, and one game would take up like half of your hard drive, and you wind up having to spend extra money just to get a decent amount of space, is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they could fix that problem with, you know, like how you can extend it with like SD cards and stuff like that. But at the same time, it always depends on how much space how much the creators creative developers themselves is gonna allow you to do that. It's kind of a scary thing, because I look at all my past consoles, and you know they always advocate digital and how every game you have to install it. I miss the days when I could just pop the CD in and just play it and not have to worry about the amount of space that I have. Especially since I like purchasing like other things that takes up a hearty amount of space at times, like DLC content that's literally worth the money to actually pay for. It's kind of tricky for me, but I mean, I guess it's like one of those situations where you gotta see what happens in the end, and you just hope like heck that they make decisions that's actually noteworthy.
Yep, no, for sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
See, before I started streaming, I was a PC gamer, and I've done PC gaming for years, and I was like all PC master race. So don't hate me, guys. But since I started streaming and actually started doing like console games, I was used to digital copies of games. I was used to buying a digital copy of a game and then downloading it and playing it. But the issue is with PC games is that once you buy a game, it usually only supports a certain OS. So after that OS goes away, unless you have a computer that has just that OS on it, you know, you either have to run a virtual machine or you have to do kind of bad end things to get it to run. I'm not going to say what, but so the shelf life of these games is short. The issue with physical copies and digital copies on console is you buy a digital game and then you play these games. Well, then what happens when the next console comes out and these games are like online, like if it's like a co-op or a 4-person or, you know, like Fortnite or something, and they no longer support the servers for that game. So what happens to the game that you bought? You know, you can't play the online mode or the story modes or anything like that because it's no longer supported. So why? I don't know, I'm kind of torn here because I want my physical copies. I want the case. I want my case. I want my little, okay, it's not in there, but I want my game. And why is there a space for a booklet in here, but there's no booklets? It's like, why do they not put booklets in here anymore? It's like, I'm slowly being let down by physical copies, but at the same time, I've had digital copies let me down in the past before too, so I don't know. I'm on the fence about everything just because of where I came from and where I'm going. I think I prefer the physical copies because when I bust out, you know, certain games, it's like, man, I want to play this so bad. I know I can plug it into my TV. That's gonna work. I can put the game in the drive and it's gonna read, it's gonna play. And that might not always be the case with digital copies because it's gonna be on that console that's no longer supported, that doesn't have any servers for it anymore. So I feel like my money's been thrown away, so I don't want to buy it.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, and then speaking of like going, see, again, like Mama Remy, I was a PC gamer myself all the time. And see, I don't care much for physical copies because the problem is we always grew up with our PC. That was what my dad would spend on. So, you know, for me, this installing thing is not a pain because I'm used to it from PCs. Back in the day, you get 4 or 5 discs. And then the problem was after you installed it and that one disc you needed to run the game, it got scratched. You're tough out of luck. The game's done, right? Hence why I've always almost all my content is downloaded off the PC or on the console or on the thing. I barely go out and buy physical copy because I don't want the strain of I have to take care of it. You know,
I've had that struggle. Yeah.
I have to take care of it, and I'm not like now as I'm older, I do take care of them, and I have a lot of physical copies of PS1 games and PS2 games and so on and so forth. But again, I'm just like I kind of like digital. But then we run into that whole space thing. I mean, when the PS4 came out, I had to automatically go out and switch it out for a terabyte. Then the PS Pro came out and you got a terabyte with it. But I switched that out for a 2 terabyte because I knew it wasn't going to last. And even that's almost full, you know? So it comes down to if we go digital, are they going to give us what we need in order to save that storage? Or do they have a plan for this, right? But again, physical for a lot of people is about collecting and having that actual thing to say, well, here's my collection of games. This is what I have. You know, for some people, it's all about that, showing it off, which is nice too, right? Oh, man.
One thing about physical games, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
They will eventually stop working.
That's true.
I don't know anything about science. I played video games. So eventually they will break down. Like the discs will stop working, the cartridges will stop working, like just because of the way that they're built and made. Like they will eventually stop working. So like that is one thing to keep in mind when going digital or physical. So it's either the service stops working or, you know, it's a long way down the road, but like, you know, 50 years from now, your NES games probably are not going to work anymore.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I agree. One thing I wanted to mention, going back to the Xbox thing. So I was like trying to figure out what would revolutionize gaming, right? Do you guys remember, was it last E3 where they showed this like hologram thing on a table with Minecraft, and they were showing the guy was touching it, the girl was touching it, and she was like lifting it, and she's like, look, you can build stuff instantly. I was like, what if they actually refine that, and that's what the big thing they want to show off is? I mean, think about what it could do for gaming. That's gaming basically anywhere. Get a big wall and throw it against the wall, and there you go, you got gaming. You know?
Imagine what the kids would make nowadays with Minecraft
if they did
had
that.
access to that. Oh.
Yep. Just like that, just like ooh, that. That's crazy. I know it blows my mind to think about that. And then going back, I saw someone mention PS4 is coming out May of next year, and it's not. Mark already did say that it's not coming out next year, that it's for sure possibly the year after. So we're definitely looking at 21 area, maybe early 20. But I mean late 2020, early 2021, I believe. Okay, so speaking of upgrades and all this stuff, Nintendo said that their upgraded versions of the Switch, so the mini and the upgraded version, wasn't gonna be coming out anytime this year or next year. But they did say they want to release a boost mode, basically overclocking your normal Switch now and giving it better frame rate and everything like that. What are your thoughts of this, and do you think this is a good idea for them to do? So, what do you think, Phil?
You gotta have it docked. You put that thing in boost mode, it's gonna last 20 minutes. Like, those are my thoughts, really. I want to know, like, really how much increased performance can we really get? Because, like, that thing is not really very powerful. And I don't know the specs. I'm sorry, I didn't do the research, but, like...
That's okay.
If you overclock it, like, it would just be sweet for Zelda to not lag. Like, that would be cool to go to the Master Sword place and have it not lag.
Yeah.
And maybe in overclocking it so that I could play Fortnite and maybe get a better draw distance or something. Like, those are the things that I would want. Like, I mean, I wouldn't expect the Switch to ever be able to, like, produce anything on par with Scorpio or anything like that. But yeah, it would just be cool for better frame rates and stuff like that. Just a little bit more stability. And yeah, I don't know. I just imagine the battery would just be smoked. You know what they need to, and I wanted to say this a second ago, and Ben said that Nintendo's doing everything right. They need to fix Smash Online, and we don't have to talk about it. I just wanted to say it. Smash Online.
Yep.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that out loud for everyone. Everyone already knows it. I just want to say it.
No, for sure. Camilo, what are your thoughts, buddy? What do you think of this overclocking, and do you think that do they even have plans for an upgraded version of the Switch? Do you think it's dumb to even think about an upgraded version?
I definitely think they're going to do an upgraded version. I never thought it was going to be this year. I've been talking to a lot of people saying, like, I want an upgraded Switch. Like, it's too soon. It's not coming yet. What I do think is going to come this year is we're going to get a downgraded model because Pokemon is coming out at the end of the year. And there are a bunch of people who only play Pokemon. Like, that's all they play. And they only have a 3DS, and they don't want to pay $300 for a Switch where they're only going to play Pokemon. They want something at, like, the 3DS price point. So I definitely think when Sword and Shield come out, they're going to come out with some Switch Mini or something like that, and then possibly next year we'll get, like, a Pro model. The boost mode sounds cool. Yeah, I don't think it would last that long on the battery and handheld mode. Yeah, I mean, I would want, like, in certain games, definitely, there's, like, one part in, like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where if you're in the Viridian Forest, there's, like, tons of Pokemon spawning, the frame rate takes a hit, like, a big, massive hit.
Yeah.
So that would help out a lot in certain frame drop places. But, yeah, that sounds cool. I didn't actually hear about the boost mode before this.
Yeah, it was something new that caught me by surprise. Like boost mode. Oh well then. What was I gonna say? Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
Well, apparently boost mode wasn't put in the patch notes, so it took some very creative people to find it.
Yep.
But apparently, shortly after it came out, Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey got patched, and then apparently Breath of the Wild got tested. The load save game went from it saved 10 seconds. The fast travel saved 8 seconds, and apparently entering a shrine saved 3 seconds. But I've never played Breath of the Wild. I don't intend anytime soon. So the only thing that I've seen about that is from people in the community that's actually played it. So, but it didn't look like it was throttling or loading or anything along those lines. But at the same time, the people that usually stream have it docked because it's hooked up until, up into a capture device of some sort. So when it's docked, apparently it's not as bad as it is when it's in handheld mode. Apparently I might have that mixed up or wrong, but apparently the boost mode only happens during load times. Like it throttles it to speed up the process of loading times, and then it drops it back down, so it's not on all the time. So that's what I'm getting from what I'm reading, but at the same time, I'm only a new Switch user, and I haven't played like these massive, huge, resource heavy games. I'm playing things like Undertale or like Let's Go Pikachu or Splatoon and Smash, so it's nothing that's like really intensive, like heavy. Maybe Smash, maybe. But I haven't seen anything like that, so I'm not one of those frustrated people that says, yes, we need this, so it doesn't affect me right now.
Yeah.
So I hope maybe in the future, if I get a more intense graphic heavy game, then I might appreciate it more. But right now, I'm out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, is it Korok Forest? Wherever the Master Sword place is, like Phil was saying.
Yeah, the Lost Woods.
Yeah, the Lost Woods. It's like that. Like, just walking a little bit, and you get massive frame drop. Like bad. It's so bad. Venge, what about you, buddy? What are your thoughts on this?
Based on what's been mentioned, I guess it's always going to come down to preference, what you want to get out of your console. And but who wouldn't want improvements, right? Like, I'm actually getting more into actually playing Breath of the Wild, because in the beginning, game, I'm such a noob when it comes to Zelda, period. So it took me over a year just to get used to half of the stuff that was going on. But there were moments where, the game, you can clearly see there's long, quite lengthy loading times, and sometimes the game will literally lag up when a lot is happening on screen. So it's always a nice thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, like you guys are saying, it's going to kill the battery when you have it, and that kind of like defeats the purpose of even having a handheld.
Yeah,
that's the case, which almost makes you wonder, is this going to be kind of one of those things that's going to force people to want to get that upgraded version just so that they can use the handheld mode?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the biggest thing that I'm curious about the most. I mean, I love the improvements, and the fact that Nintendo thought of the improvement is nice, but it seemed like they already had this pre-planned.
Yep.
The only question is, is the execution going to be worth it? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. And like what Camilo said, and you were right, Camilo, like I forgot about that. There are Pokemon community people who just strictly buy handhelds for that game. And I remember when the 2DS came out, I knew a lot of people.
Yeah, it was exactly, the 2DS launched the day X and Y came out.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people were excited to finally get something that was non-3D because of that fact that they're like, for Pokemon, why do you need 3D? And I'm like, oh, I guess you're right. And then now going back to that and coming into now, it makes sense. If you release a lower end version of the Switch, well, it's only realistically it's going to help a lot of people who play Pokemon only. Not saying it's only for them, just saying that the majority of help will be going towards them and people who only play strictly games like that. So indie games, there's a lot of people who play 8-bit versions, Celeste and Undertale, things like that. So I see why they're, because people are like, why would they go a downgraded version? Well, that would be why. So it would make sense. Okay, so this topic, I know a lot of people wouldn't know a lot, but so as most of you know, Epic Games brought out their own Epic Store, and they're holding a lot of exclusive only towards them. But they turned around and said to Steam, so Steam being the big computer company, they don't pay their developers a lot of money when it comes to putting games out there. So Epic Games said that they would stop holding exclusives only on their platform if Steam increases their pay to developers. What are your thoughts on this, and what do you guys think? Is this basically a big middle finger to Steam and saying, hey, stop? Or do you think there's another plan in their agenda? So let's go with Phil.
I don't know if there's another plan. I think that's like almost like a PR move to be like, oh, well, like we're getting all this negative heat because we're stealing all these exclusives and people are mad because like people love Steam, but then they're like, oh, no, we're actually paying these developers more money, and like maybe if Steam would do the same, we wouldn't have to do this. But that's just Steam's fault, not our fault. So like I kind of feel like it's a little bit of like they've been getting bad press, so now they're trying to turn it around to be like, hey Steam, why don't you pay your devs more? Come on, guys. So I think it's
like that.
I think it's a little bit of a back and forth of like trying to like, you know, get the mud off of you and put it back on the competitor kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the devs are making the games. Steam's not making the games, so I don't know. Do it, Steam.
What about you, Camilla? What are your thoughts?
It seems interesting. I'm not really a PC gamer, so I'm not really into what Epic and Steam is doing. But, yeah, I don't think they have another plan. Like, where else are they gonna put their games? Yeah. I don't know.
No, that's okay.
I play like 0 PC games.
No, for sure. Venge, what are your thoughts, my friend?
You know what Phil said is a very interesting thing. And I mean, trying to like fire back at Steam, you know, get them, you know, stick it to the man, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But in their case, it sounds as if they're just doing this to kind of like have their way kind of thing, fight back. It's tough when it comes to the video gaming industry because, you know, a lot of people have no idea on what really goes on behind the scenes. Because it kind of reminds me of like a sensitive backlash when it came to the release of Tekken 7 back in the day and the whole DLC controversy, because like in all the years of Tekken, like DLC was an afterthought, and if it was DLC, it wouldn't involve something that people would assume would be something that should already be in the game, such as, you know, returning characters being payable, you know, you have the payable downloadable content.
Yep.
Like characters that has been in the game for years, right? And I was not a huge fan of that. And Harada himself, he even stressed that fact during the earlier developments of the game. But then you always have to, the developer team always have to answer to the publisher. And so the publisher is going to say, if you do not do what we tell you, then we're not going to back you. Like, they reduce the number of resources that they have to actually succeed. And it's like, ugh. Stuff like that is so iffy to me. It really is. I hate politics when it comes to something.
No, for sure. There's a lot of politics when it comes. Oh, shoot. We're being raided. We're getting a lightning raid. Oh, what's up, Raiders? How's it going?
Lightning. Yes. Lightning strikes twice.
Right. By the way, the raid song is on, guys. Well, let's greet everybody here, and then we'll move on to Mama Remy's answer. What's up, Two-Faced Cat? How's it going? Hello, Stickbot. What's up, man? How you doing? Hello, Hannah. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Lightning. Hi, honey. How's it going? Thank you for the raid. All right, welcome raiders, guys. Lightning is a wonderful wonderful streamer. Definitely want to go check her out. She was playing Cuphead.
God.
What happened? I missed it. Please hit
Sorry,
that.
my husband is standing right over there, and I see it out of the corner of my eye. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You definitely want to go check her out. Definitely want to go check her out. Go show her some love. She took the time to raid us. We could take the time to check her channel out.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
Do you want to come say hi so they don't think I'm like crazy now?
Oh,
Where's that
that's
epic
funny.
beard? There it is.
There it Yo,
This
what's
scared
good,
me, guys.
man?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. He's pretty handsome.
Thank you. They said you're
Clean
pretty
beard too, bro.
Clean beard too.
I love you.
All right, Captain Toad. Take care, buddy. Have a good one. So, Mama Remy, going back to the question, what are your thoughts on this whole Epic Games Steam thing going on?
That was like, you need like a replay reaction of me like doing that.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
gonna.
okay.
Yep.
So I'm a Steam fangirl, or I was a Steam fangirl, because PC Master Race. Before I got my Switch, and now I'm kind of like Switch rules everything. But when Epic Games came out with their launcher, it was amazing because every 2 weeks you get a free game, and some of these games, they're new, sometimes they're older. But it gives a very nice variety of games, and who doesn't like free games? You only have 2 weeks to get them.
Yeah.
So, but it gives me enough that I can go in, I can claim it, and then even though I don't have time to play now, I can always go and play them later.
Mhm.
And they've had some really good games come out here recently. So, the fact that they're actually the first kind of main competitor for Steam, and it gives, all these indie developers or all these other games more of an option to go to another platform besides having to deal with Steam's, basic, you're gonna do this or, is great. And now the fact that, all these developers and all these, game companies are actually going to Epic Games and they're being supported over there, and then Steam's over there in the corner going, well, no one wants to come play with me anymore. It's like, no, if you fix your crap, we'll come back. But look, you have to give us an incentive to come back. So I think, honestly, this little feud that they've got going on, that, as Phil said, that, it's like a PR move. So possibly it might come to the point where Steam actually comes out with a better package for indie games than what Epic does. And this is just going to be this great big huge war between the two companies. And that just means cheaper games for us.
That was the best. No, for sure. I agree with you. I mean, it's exactly what you said. This is just gonna be, hey, Epic Games does this, but we have cheaper games, and we already know how cheap Steam does bring their games. I mean, I've gotten AAA titles for like $2. So how much more cheaper? Bring it on. I don't care. But it is a win-win, on it could be a win-win for the devs and then a win-win for us, because we're like, well, cheaper games and AAA titles coming first release. Heck yes. Again, I mean, I started following this whole feud when it first I was like, it's there's no feud, but then I started seeing how it's growing, and it's like, okay, there's something here to play with. All right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty here for Mr. Camillo and Mr. Venge here. So, we heard there was a Persona 5 game coming out, and everybody got excited that it was gonna be a port for the Switch, the RPG game. Well, turns out that it's Persona 5S, which is it's Scramble. Scramble, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Persona 5 Scramble.
Yeah, which is a like Dynasty Warrior action game. And sounds like it's not an RPG game, and people are, let's say, a little pissed off because that's not the game they were expecting to come to the Switch. And it sounds like there is no Persona 5 RPG coming towards the Switch anytime soon. What are your thoughts on this? And I need to know. So let's start with Venge, because I know he's very passionate about this.
Oh my god! You know what? I fell in love with that game since 4. I actually want to go back and try out the other ones, but I was like floored by that when I found out about it, because like it was like the theory was, especially when the news was heavy, was the whole idea that, oh, Persona 5 with an S at the end. And you automatically, people are thinking, oh, Joker has been announced to be a playable character in Smash Bros. Ultimate. So then it creates all these crazy speculations, right? So
Yeah.
they see Persona 5 S and they like, oh snap, could that mean we could possibly get Persona 5 ported over to the Switch? And sadly enough, that's not the case, like you said. And then we have a Dynasty Warriors title and people are livid. It's actually surprising to me, but Persona has been such a popular franchise and Persona 5 has done so well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that they would be really ticked off about it, but at the same time, I could see why they would expect a port, right? And so you have this game. I'm actually interested in that just because of the fact that it's Persona 5.
Mm-hmm.
And, I saw the look of it. It seems like it still has that style, but it's just not a turn-based RPG. I'm personally excited for it, but I could understand for those people that that has a Switch and they don't have a PlayStation 4. And I mean, you think about it, you know how PlayStation is. They're going to try to hang on to every little big card they got.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because they lost their mojo, so they're going to try to hang on to Persona their life and try to keep all the goodies and force people to get that PlayStation 4 in order to experience, bigger Persona 5 title coming out, which is Persona 5 Royal, more like the expanded version.
Yeah, no, for sure. Camilla, what are your thoughts?
So when I saw that announcement, it was kind of disappointing. I think the reason it stings so much is because literally the day before they announced that new Persona 5 Royal version, and they're like, oh, well, it just says PS4, but we're getting another announcement tomorrow, so maybe. And then they announced this different game, and I'm like, this is the perfect time to move it over. This is a brand new version of the game.
True.
In my head, I think there's some sort of contract that they have with PlayStation that says it has to be on PlayStation. Maybe by the time because this game's not coming out until 2020, the Royal version. That contract might expire and we might get it on the Switch. So I'm still hoping that they'll announce it at a later date. The Scramble game, it looks okay. I played Hyrule Warriors. I didn't really like it that much, and I didn't get Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm not really into the Dynasty Warrior games, so
True.
I don't know. It looks cool, but I don't like those kinds of games.
Yeah, no, for sure. Phil, what are your thoughts, buddy?
Do we need this many Dynasty Warrior likes on the Nintendo Switch?
I was waiting for someone to say
it. I'm a massive Zelda fan. So I had the first one on Wii U, but I didn't buy all the DLC because it was literally $100 to buy all of it. So when it came out on the Switch as a definitive edition, I was like, oh yes, I can actually get the DLC. It's gonna be cheaper than if I were to just buy it on Wii U. So I rebought the game and actually had a ton of fun with that because and it's why I think this Scramble game is gonna be pretty fun. There's just so much music, so many characters, so many items. If you're a huge fan of a particular franchise, these type of games are massive fan service games, and they're really just kind of mindless beat 'em up games you just run through, and I think it's gonna be cool. I am 13 hours into Persona 5, so I don't know a ton, but how the combat might work, if you can swap your personas in and out for different styles of combat, because there's only 5 main characters, and would you play as the characters? And then the Hyrule Warriors, you can play as a bad guy, so you're also playing as like Komashita or like whoever else in Persona 5. So you probably have access to like all these characters, which is cool. But another thing why I don't think it's that cool is that Hyrule Warriors is every Zelda game ever. Persona 5 is Persona 5. There's 5 Persona games that they could pull characters from that have very cool characters, very cool environments, very cool music. So are we going to get Persona 5 Scramble with DLC with these other games? Are they going to do kind of like what they're doing with the dancing games, where it's like they did Persona 4 dancing on the PS3, and then they just came out with Persona 3 dancing and Persona 5 dancing as 2 separate games on the PS4? Like, I don't really understand how they're releasing their games, or like what.
But like the Persona 4 dancing, that came out when that game was like relevant, right? They didn't come out like the same time.
Did it come out? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if they would backtrack with like a specific game for each. It doesn't really make sense.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, I don't know. Fire Emblem Warriors didn't hook me, and I also hadn't beaten the games yet, and they were like spoiling story points when I was going through Fire Emblem Warriors, and I was like, well, this stinks. Like, I'm very interested in completing these Fire Emblem games, and if I play Fire Emblem Warriors, the whole story is going to be ruined, and like, I think the stories in those Fire Emblem games are great. So anyways, that's what I have to say. Why isn't it all the Persona games, and we don't need this many Dynasty Warrior games?
For sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
It's a Persona game that I have access to. I don't care what it is, I'm gonna play it. Because, you know, I'm relatively new into the fandom, but when I get sucked into it, I get sucked into it. And I don't care, even if it's like a 5-minute like DLC where it's nothing but like just text between characters and that's all it is. I'm gonna pay for it, I'm gonna download it, and I'm gonna play it. One of my favorite games, and my actual, you know, that debatable, is Final Fantasy IV, the one with Cecil and Kain and Rydia and Rosa and Edge and all them. And they've came out with all these different editions for it, and I bought every single, you know, version or port or remake, and I played it. And one of them was the one that went on to the PlayStation Portable, which was an interlude between one game and a sequel to it. And the game was like 20 minutes long, and that's all it was. But I very happily played it because that's like one of my favorite games. So with the never-ending whole of Persona 5 and all the Persona games that go with it that we all seem to be diving in, I'm fangirling over the fact that I have access to some type of, you know, fandom game, and I get to play it, and I'm gonna happily play it. I don't care what it is, because it looks amazing, and I'm so gonna play the crap out of Royal when it hits, and it, you know, it's actually in English, and I can play it, and I can understand it, and everyone else can complain. I'm just gonna go sit over in my corner and just be happy with my chips in the game, and be like, okay, bye.
Yep. Nope, for sure. I've never touched any of the Persona games. I hear from everybody that I need to try them. I hear good things about them. So for me, this was kind of, I was like, well, I'm not into Dynasty Warriors. I used to be long time ago when it was on the PS2. You know, that's what I remember. I didn't try Hyrule Warriors. My brother told me how great and fantastic it was. I never got a chance to try it. I'm hoping to try Persona 5 because all I hear is good things about it. Kind of want to wait for that other one because it sounds like it's going to come with a lot of stuff. So I kind of want to wait for that one. Maybe if I try it, I might get this other one, or maybe get this other one first and then get Persona 5. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I said, it's another Dynasty Warriors.
You might spoil yourself though.
Yeah. You know, it's
I wouldn't recommend it.
It's another Dynasty Warriors game, so I don't know what I want to do with that. I don't know. Oh well, what are you gonna do, right? Like my brother said, maybe they'll bring out Super Mario Dynasty Warriors. All right, so Kingdom Hearts 3 has been out for a while. Everyone's played it. Everyone's loved it. and they announced DLC for it. The Remind, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Remind. It's like the new chapter or scenario they're calling it.
Yeah, so it says Remind Final Mix. We're getting some new bosses, some new scenarios. Are you guys excited for this? What are your thoughts of it? What are you hoping to see? So let's start with Camillo, the king of Kingdom Hearts.
I've been playing. So Critical Mode just dropped Tuesday. I've been playing it like nonstop. Yeah. So like Kingdom Hearts is like one of my favorite game series. So the DLC is going to be the Remind, which is like, so there's the theme of like Kingdom Hearts 3 is that like a lot of characters come back, like everyone's here kind of thing. So there's one character that like it's not really explained how they come back. So this episode is going to explain how that person comes back. And then they said something called a limit episode and then a secret episode. Kingdom Hearts games in the past have had this, like usually in the final mix versions, where it's like you beat the game and then there's like, oh, here's like an hour, maybe not an hour, maybe like a hour episode afterwards. So it's like cutscenes and sometimes it's playable.
Yeah.
And then it's also going to come with the new Keyblade. So I'm super hyped. Can't wait.
Phil, what are your thoughts?
I don't care.
Rip.
No, okay, so I
What
played
does it do to you?
Kingdom Hearts 1. So this is like why I don't care. It's because I can't keep track of it. It's like Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix Turbo Deluxe Edition on PS3, I think. And I did enjoy it, and it's basically because Camillo like forced it on me. And he's like, you have to play this franchise. It's my favorite franchise. So I was just like, okay, fine. And I finally beat it. When I finally beat it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. But then I hit 2, and then there's like the interlude games that like connect them all, and it's just like too much content for me. And so I'm like, I'm not excited for more content because I'm still super behind. But like I would eventually like to, you know, it's in my backlog. It's not like I'm not saying I don't care. Like I think it's gonna be a bad game. It's like I just can't. It's too much for me right now. I can't deal.
You just haven't gotten on the Kingdom Hearts pain train yet. Once you get on, you can't get off.
Train? What is a
Yeah.
How do you mean by pain train?
It's just so the game will like, I don't know, it has like a lot of emotions and like it plays with your feelings and all that stuff. And
so once it
so
starts
like
messing
so like
with
once
my
you get
emotions-
invested, like you have to know what happens. So like you're not at that point yet where you're not
You're
invested.
on the Persona pain train right now.
Well, I was gonna ask Benj, but he's gone. So, Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
I need to be like, Venge, I need to go away because I'm trying to avoid chat because it's like I don't want spoilers because I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting to get it when it's been on sale and kind of take over my daughter's Xbox since she's the only one that has one right now. But yeah, don't spoil it for me. I love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2 is actually one of the first PlayStation 2 games that I ever played, and I enjoyed it so much because it kind of actually reminded me of, well, it reminds me of Persona 5, how it's like the backstory and, you know, all the different worlds that you could go and everything that happened. It was such a big story for, you know, our age range, and it just captured me because, you know, at that age everything's all like you know, Disney, and you're all about Disney and stuff. So then it was like so then you get mad because it's like, well, they didn't include my favorite world, you know, why didn't they do this, or why did they do this one? So because they've Disney always comes out with all these new, you know, movies and games and stuff, I feel like Kingdom Hearts is always gonna have new content, so there's always gonna be a Kingdom Hearts. But I haven't done 3 yet. I've been waiting. I need to get on that because I'm tired of not being able to raid certain people because I played Kingdom Hearts 3. Camillo.
And Venge is gone again.
Yeah.
So,
I don't like. So like in my Discord, I have like a Kingdom Hearts chat.
Yeah.
And then I have like a Kingdom Hearts 3 spoiler chat. And we were using that for like, I don't know, a month or 2 after the game came out. But I don't know, like I'm kind of the like we stopped using it because now we're like, okay, it's like been 2 months. If you really wanted to play, like like if you didn't want it to be spoiled, like you would have played it by now. So like we just use the regular chat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, for sure. With myself, I haven't finished Kingdom Hearts 3 yet. I've been playing it, and I've been holding off because I've been doing it on stream. But again, a lot of people still come in and they complain that it's like a lengthy movie. Apparently, I don't know why they complain. I think it's great. I really enjoy the story of it. I didn't know about this DLC until Camilo brought it up, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't know about it because now I kind of gonna jump into it and read a little bit more about it. But I'm hoping that it does add something to the story. I don't know though. I just don't want more to leading towards something that's we're gonna have to wait for another and another and another, and I don't know. That's my only worry. That's my only worry on it. So Avengers and still back. So I guess we can move on.
Is that okay?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I was laughing at Dino's comment about Thanos being Bowser.
It's a true fact. It's a true fact. That's how it is.
Okay, so let's see. Jesse asked a question to us. I'm a person who depends on games whether I care about having a physical copy. In your opinion, is it worth saving on games to have fully digital games versus physical games? So what does he mean by that? Is it worth saving on games to have fully digital games versus physical games?
I think, is it that argument saying that like digital games should be cheaper because like you're not getting like, the box?
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And also, just to say, they're not ever cheaper.
Yeah.
You can go to GameStop and get a physical version cheaper almost every single time. Like,
yeah.
They retain their MSRP digitally way longer than they do in retail stores.
Which is kind of funny to me because you would think that being digital, they don't have to waste that much more money in making a disc and case, and they still kind of
the supply chain it takes to get it from like wherever Tokyo to Walmart, Michigan, like that's like ridiculous.
Exactly.
Why did and you still have to pay full 60 for it? That's crazy.
No, it is. It really is. Like in my opinion, now here in Canada, it costs $79.99 for a game, any game, right? That's brand new. I'd rather pay $59.99 for a digital copy versus a $79.99. But even like I said, digital versus physical, I'm looking around online trying to figure. That's why a lot of my games that I do get that come out for all consoles, including PC, I look for online to figure out what website will offer me that key for cheaper. Mm-hmm. So for example, Mortal Kombat was like, "Oh, get it for the Switch." Yeah, but for the Switch it costs $79, but PC I can get it for $50 on a website, and it's gonna work. You know,
like a North American key. Yeah,
I don't know how it works. This website, it's called Kinguin, but you can basically find a lot of PC games that, like my Windows 10 key, it costs normally $139 in stores, but with them it costs $40. So I really don't know how they kind of work it out. They're legal, they work.
Yeah,
you know,
I use CD keys. They have like a really good deal sometimes. You can get super good deals on PC games, Xbox games. So.
Yeah, so
check it out.
If you have, right, exactly.
Not sponsored.
But I mean, that's my thought. What about you guys? What are your thoughts on physical versus digital being cheaper?
Well, okay, if you're talking physical, like I could go to like a bunch of different stores and get a physical game. So like there are a lot more competitors. But when I get digital, I have to buy it from like Nintendo or PlayStation. So like I feel like that's why like it's always the same price, because like there's no competitor for digital. Like you have to buy it straight from them. So yeah, I usually go physical whenever I can. I'll buy digital if it's like an older game and it's like on sale digitally. It's like I've bought like a bunch of horror games digitally and stuff like that, but in older games. But if it's like a brand new game that I'm really excited about, I'll get it physical. Yeah,
no, for sure. Mama Remy, what are your thoughts?
Rigo, I have to say a cuss word on stream because I'm going to tell you a place where I go for like pretty much everything, and I don't want to.
That's fine.
Don't hate me. If you guys are on Twitter, there's a guy. This is legit what his name is. It's called Cheap Ass Gamer Sorry.
You're fine.
But
I thought it was gonna be
vile thing to come out of your mouth.
no, I'm family friendly, so I don't cuss I don't cuss for anything anywhere. It's like I don't want to do this, but CAG posts any type of physical, digital, sales on video games, consoles, accessories, like anything that has to do with gaming. And he also posts when games are free somewhere.
Yeah.
So, if you follow that person on Twitter, you can usually get a lot of good, like, codes, like 25% off this game. He'll let you know the moment things go on sale. Like, for some reason, like, they've got, like, their little fingers and everything. So that's where I usually get all of my information, or all, like, my codes and stuff like that from.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Keep an eye out.
Visit CAG. I'm not saying it again.
On Twitter.
You gotta follow on the tweeters. Okay, guys. So that is it for today's episode of TacoCast. I don't know where Venge went. He disappeared. Before I forget, so we're coming up into May. Next TacoCast, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be focusing on rumors and speculation of E3, what to expect, what we want to expect, what we want for E3. Also, because everything's changing for E3, seeing as PlayStation is not going to be there, and we don't really know what to expect from them. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for May. And then June's will be more what they showed at E3 and if we were satisfied with it or whatnot. So there's a lot to happen, a lot of things to happen. Let's quickly take a look who we can raid, because there's 30 of us watching, and we can throw an epic raid to someone. Who can we raid? You guys have anybody that has low numbers?
I'm sad about this whole E3 stuff, because I live in Los Angeles, and it's like the easiest expo for me to go to.
Yeah.
And now everyone's just pulling out. And I'm like, guys, come on, I just got here.
I know, they just opened it, and all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, we're pulling out now, we're done.
Yeah, they just opened it to the public, like, was it last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on.
There's red coin apparently. See?
I posted one in the Discord. There you go.
Oh, let me see. I have to go into my phone to see. Oh, I've never heard of this guy.
Total sweetheart, family friendly, amazing. You'll get the best reaction ever, I promise.
Oh, he's a small one too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard to.
That's my recommendation.
Okay, I think we might use him. Let me find him on here. I've never heard of him. I think it'd make his day, right?
Yes. That's why I was like, I recommend this one. You're gonna love the reaction.
All right, guys.
Sweetheart.
Let's go ahead and go on a raid. Nobody leave just yet. Let's go ahead and go on a raid. We found our raidee. Guys, thank you all for joining us. I super appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Phil, Camilo, and Mama for joining us. Venge, I don't know what happened to him. He just got up and left. This is so sad. All right, let me grab right now the internet stuff here, and it should pop up. There it is. We're going to raid this gentleman right here. We're going to raid gold. We're going to use hashtag TacoCast. And yeah, let's go ahead and do it, my friends. There's his link. Oops. I pushed the wrong button. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. So we're going to use hashtag TacoCast raid. So let's go ahead and do it, my friends. Let's go give him a raid. I'm sure he's going to be very excited.
I'm pumped.
He is. He's a total sweetheart. He gives you the most sincere at anything.
What's up, Jibbian? How are you doing, Jibbian? Hey, we got a raid going on. The TacoCast raid. So what is up, TacoCasters? This is Gold Coasting, and right next to me I have Adam, moderator of the channel. So let's welcome the TacoCast raid.
TacoCast.
Shout out time. Murphy's Law Gaming, Bala, Gold 450.
Looks like they're playing some Smash Bros.
Fantastic, Spanishdude, Mickey Gaming,
On a custom stage that is My Little Pony.
It is My Little Pony. Interesting. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you again to you guys for joining. I know you guys had a busy schedule making room, so I really, really appreciate that. Guys, I will see you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Next
Thank
month
you.
for another TacoCast, and I can't wait to do it because there's gonna be some great surprises. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget the most important thing in the whole wide world. Come to my live stream. I'm super famous. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.